of Zee, where they wanted to infuse capital, has been rejected. And it has been rejected by shareholders. Now, I would like to remind our viewers that Zee is one entity where the promoter holding is actually much lower than what other normal promoter holdings are in other media companies. And that's the reason why individual shareholders, especially large investors, have a very large say when it comes to any decision making which has been done with regards to fundraise. But Sharat is going to tell us that what transpired, what happened, and what is next for Zee.
A big blow to Zee Entertainment Enterprises as their fundraise has been blocked, and the investors have rejected the proposal to give preferential to the key shareholder at entities belonging to the promoter group. Now, looking at the numbers, 40% public investors rejected this and voted against the warrant issue to the key stakeholder at entities. Now, the proposal which was needed 75%, but 40% went against this. Now, this fundraise plan was roughly 2,200 odd crore rupees. Then most of the warrants would have gone to the Mauritius-based entities, which were somehow linked with the promoters. Interestingly, currently none of the promoters are having seat in the board, and the expectation of the rise in promoter stake post this issue was supposed to be coming in at 18%, but the current number still stands at 4% when it comes to the promoter holding of the company. Zee would have received 560 crore immediately, and the balance 1677 crore coming over the next 18 odd months. But this could have been the first major investment after the failed Zee and Sony merger as well. Proxy firm in Govern had actually given a voting recommendation of not allowing this fundraise, and this had come last month itself, and they had stated that given the excess dilution from the proposed warrants, there are recent challenges being faced by Zee, and shareholders would actually seek enhanced disclosure, especially from the source of funds as well. Now, this might not be in the best interest of minority shareholders, and this was stated by InGovern. But of course, the company also came out with its clarification, and they stated that the board and the management are respecting the decision taken by the remaining shareholders, and also that stated that the company is guided for a board to fortify themselves and build a war chest to see these unforeseen events. And under this guidance, the company will take significant efforts, especially for the profitability levels in the digital business as well.
All right, thank you so much, Sharat, for getting us all those details. So that's about Zee, wherein the fundraise has been blocked. Investors do reject the proposal to issue warrants to the key shareholder entities. But let's take this discussion forward with Shriram Subramanian, founder and MD of InGovern, joining us on the show right now. Mr. Subramanian, help us with your take on this whole aspect with respect to Zee Entertainment, because in the past you have highlighted the fact that this particular outcome should not hold well for the minority shareholders.
Yeah, largely because the instrument which the investment banker JP Morgan had suggested is not the right instrument, which is warrants. The source of funds, which is largely coming from Mauritius, Zee itself is under investigation by SEBI. So from that perspective, it is not that has to be resolved. So minority shareholders are quite unhappy. That is the institutional investors who hold substantial stake in the company, higher than even the promoter. So they are blocking this because the nature of the instrument which the promoter is using to enhance their stake, which gives them a sort of a call option to invest over the next 18 months, is not the correct one. And I think one has to fault the investment bank for that purpose. And of course, Zee has to work towards resolving its issue with SEBI.
Okay, now let's look at the minority shareholder here. If this deal would have gone through, some would have argued back and said, look, cash would have come into the company and Zee needs all the cash because they have a lot of cash burn in ZEE5, and this cash would have helped them ultimately address their cash burn. So could we look at the other side and say that this news, while the minority shareholders may have rejected the promoter proposal, but ultimately it will come at the cost of cash flow and fresh capital infusion?
Yes, but the company already has 2,500 crores of cash in its books. Two is it's not clear, even if the cash had come, it would have come after 18 months. A bulk of it, 75% of profit. So it's not clear how the company would have allocated it because they have not disclosed that upfront or what purpose it serves. So from that perspective, it's unclear. The company is not requiring so much cash now. And after 18 months, let's see. I mean, if they want to raise capital, there are other ways and means to raise capital.
Your book, what minority shareholders have done is in the right spirit of protecting their interest, which is that they have not allowed promoters to go ahead with a preferential share.
Yes.
Okay.
I think the instrument also warrants because it gives a call option to the promoters, which was suggested by, I think, JP Morgan, is not the right instrument.
I distinctly remember Mr. Goenka had said that, look, I have a large holding which is pledged, and I am committed to increase my ownership by the open market. Do you think somewhere at these levels, when Zee price is nowhere close to its record high, the better way for promoters is that they should start purchasing in the open market and then have disclosures for it, because that will instill better confidence and higher confidence?
Yeah, that is one way for the promoters to increase their shares. But of course, Indian regulations allow only 5% a year from creeping acquisition perspective. They could, of course, make an open offer at a higher valuation to acquire other shareholders. So there are various ways for them to increase their shares, percentage shareholding in the company.
Subramanian, with this, we'll let you go on that. Thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking with us. So that's about Zee Entertainment. Let's see how the stock reaction is today. But other than that,